A quiet town, no crime, no secrets, or so they claim. One night, a schoolgirl vanishes. No clues, no witnesses, just silence. But one man starts asking the wrong questions, and suddenly the town turns against him. Because here, truth is dangerous, and those who search for it don't stay safe for long. So what really happened that night? Stay till the end. The truth changes everything. The story begins in a quiet city in South Korea. The time just past midnight. A young girl is walking alone across Sunshine Bridge. Her steps are slow. Her shoulders are shaking. Tears stream down her face. Bruises mark her arms and neck. In her hand, she clutches a mobile phone. It's clear she is deeply broken, lost inside her own thoughts, drowning in depression. Suddenly, a car pulls over beside her. The door opens. After a brief hesitation, the girl gets inside. The car drives away, and she vanishes into the darkness. Her name is Henna, though we won't learn that just yet. The story then shifts to another character, Lee. Lee is a former professional boxer, strong, disciplined, and well known in his time. Now, he works as a boxing coach at a local club. But tonight, Lee is furious. In his hand, he holds a trophy. Not for first place, but for second. His jaw tightens as he stares at it. Without hesitation, Lee storms into a formal dinner hosted by the Boxing Association. Executives, officials, and sponsors turn to look at him. In front of everyone, Lee places the trophy on the table, right in front of the association's president. "This trophy shouldn't exist," Lee says coldly. "My student was the real winner." The room falls silent. Lee continues, his voice shaking with rage. "The match was fixed. Money decided the result. An unqualified fighter was handed victory. He accuses the association of corruption, of destroying young athletes' futures for profit. The vice chairman laughs and mocks him. That's the last straw. In one sudden movement, Lee strikes the vice chairman, knocking him flat to the floor. The consequences come fast. The very next day, Lee is fired from his coaching job. Sitting inside his car, Lee speaks to his wife on the phone. From their conversation, we understand this isn't the first time this has happened. Lee has lost jobs before. He has even been to prison, all because he refuses to stay silent in the face of injustice. His wife knows the truth. Lee is an honest man, but stubborn, uncompromising. Still, she doesn't give up on him. She finds him another job. Lee learns that he has been assigned to a high school in Kochon City, working as a sports teacher. For the first time in a while, he smiles. His wife makes only one request. "Please, don't get involved in trouble this time." Lee promises her that he won't, but fate has other plans. On his way to the city, Lee's car tire suddenly goes flat. While waiting for help by the roadside, his eyes fall on a missing person poster. A teenage girl. Her face looks familiar. The audience realizes something chilling. This is the same girl who disappeared from the bridge, Henna. A few days later, Lee arrives in Kochon City. On the street, he notices a group of schoolgirls arguing loudly. One of them stands out. Angry, aggressive, openly defiant. Her name is Sumin. What Lee doesn't know yet is that Sumin was Henna's closest friend. Later that day, we see Sumin secretly visiting Henna's house. She takes care of Henna's grandmother, gives her medicine, checks on her health. Through this, we learn the truth. Henna lost her parents at a very young age. Her grandmother was the only family she had left. To Sumin, Henna wasn't just a friend. She was family, like a sister. Inside Henna's room, Sumin looks at old photos and personal belongings. She breaks down. Among Henna's things, she finds something strange. A small token marked with the symbol of a specific house. One night, while returning home alone, Sumin senses something terrifying. Someone is following her. Her breathing quickens. She jumps onto a bus in panic. Through the bus window, she looks outside. The man is still standing there, watching her. The next day, Lee officially joins Kochon High School, but his first assignment surprises him. The principal orders him to collect overdue school fees from students. In the cafeteria, Lee is openly mocked by students. They laugh at him, disrespect him. That's when a powerful figure enters the scene. Powell, a highly influential local leader, a candidate for governor, and the chairman of the school. While checking the list of unpaid fees, Lee notices two names, Sumin, Henna. Lee approaches Sumin to talk. The moment he mentions Henna, Sumin explodes in anger. Henna didn't run away way, she snaps. She's missing. Every single day, Sumin puts up missing posters for Henna on the school notice board, and every single day, she gets scolded for it. One afternoon, Lee notices something unsettling. The school's art teacher, Percy, is coming out of the girls' restroom. Lee pauses. Something feels off, but he ignores it for now. Later that day, he sees Sumin climbing over the school wall, sneaking away. At that moment, Lee realizes something is very wrong. Sumin is hiding something, and Henna's disappearance is far from a simple missing case. Quietly, Lee decides to follow her. After quietly following her for some time, Lee sees Sumin stop in front of a nightclub called Janus. This is the same club where Henna used to work part-time. Sumin hesitates for a moment, then gathers her courage and walks inside. She starts asking questions about Henna, but instead of help, the club manager treats her harshly, dismissive, irritated, almost threatening. That's when Lee steps in. He warns the manager in a firm, authoritative tone and makes it clear that Sumin is not alone. Without creating a scene, Lee escorts Sumin safely out of the club. As they are leaving, one of the female employees quietly pulls them aside. She reveals an important detail. No one here knew her real name, she says. Everyone called her Lemon. She adds one more thing. If you want to know anything about her, you need to talk to Madam Isabel. Lee offers to walk Sumin home, but overwhelmed by anger and frustration, Sumin gets out of the car halfway and walks away alone. The street is dark, too quiet. A car begins following her. Suddenly, a man steps out. Before Sumin can scream, he grabs her and fires an electric stun gun. She collapses, unconscious. Meanwhile, Lee is on his way back when he notices something alarming. Sumin's phone is still in his car. He turns around to return it. From a distance, Lee sees Sumin being dragged into a vehicle. Without hesitation, he slams the accelerator. Lee rams his car toward the kidnappers. Panicked, they throw Sumin onto the road and flee. Lee rushes Sumin to the hospital and immediately contacts the police. When Sumin regains consciousness, she tells the officers everything. Her instinct is clear. The same man who tried to kidnap her is the one who took Henna. But instead of concern, the police respond with laughter. They brush it off as paranoia. At that moment, Lee becomes absolutely certain there is something much bigger behind this. Lee contacts Lumin, a police officer who was once his student. Through him, Lee learns a shocking truth. There is no official missing person report for Henna. Why? Because her grandmother never went to the police. The next day, Lee personally brings Henna's grandmother to the station and files the report himself. But almost immediately, senior officers call Lumin and order him to withdraw the file. It becomes painfully obvious. Someone is deliberately covering this up. At school, a colleague quietly warns Lee, "This isn't the first time," she says. "Girls have gone missing like this before. None of them ever came back." And no real investigation was ever done. Lee tells Sumin to stay calm, but Sumin looks him straight in the eye and asks, "If Henna were your daughter, would you still stay silent?" Those words hit Lee hard. They stay with him. Meanwhile, the art teacher Percy approaches Sumin. He comforts her, offers sympathy, and insists on walking her home. Sumin agrees. That same evening, Lee makes a horrifying discovery. Inside the school's women's restroom, he finds a hidden camera. When he checks the footage, his blood runs cold. The camera was installed by Percy. Digging deeper into Percy's laptop, Lee finds private chat logs, conversations between Percy, Henna, and Sumin. The final message reveals everything. On the night Henna disappeared, Percy went to pick her up. Lee immediately calls Sumin and tells her the truth. Sumin realizes too late. She is in grave danger. Secretly, she sends Lee her live location. Percy notices her fear. Before she can escape, he knocks her unconscious. Following the signal, Lee reaches Percy's apartment. Inside, he finds undeniable proof: Henna's mobile phone. There is no doubt left. After beating him, Percy finally confesses. He admits that Henna called him one night, terrified. Her body was covered in marks of torture. During the drive, Percy received a phone call. Henna panicked and asked to be dropped off midway. After that, she vanished. Out of fear, Percy never reported anything. Lee hands Percy over to the police, but deep down, Lee knows Percy is not the final answer. Henna's disappearance is only one piece of a much darker puzzle. But once again, the police try to bury the case. Slowly, the truth comes out. Every piece of information is being quietly passed to the owner of the Janus Club, and from there, it reaches only one place. Powell, a powerful man, a governor candidate. With elections approaching, no one wants a scandal, and that's when it becomes clear. This is no longer about one missing girl. This is a citywide network built on silence, power, and fear. The next morning, Sumin does something reckless. She prints new missing posters. This time, she doesn't hide behind questions. She places Percy's photo on the poster and writes one word across it: kidnapper. The entire school erupts. Teachers panic, students whisper, administrators rush to contain the damage. Lee is furious. He confronts Sumin and says, "I told you to stay away. If you keep doing this, you'll destroy yourself." But it's already too late. That same day, school chairman Powell calls Lee into his office. Without explanation, he hands Lee his final paycheck. "Your employment ends today," Powell says calmly. "This is for everyone's good." In that moment, Lee understands everything. He's being removed because he got too close to Henna's case. Then the phone rings. Officer Lumin gives Lee a location. When Lee arrives, his worst fear becomes reality. Henna's body has been pulled from the river. Sumin arrives moments later. The moment she sees her best friend's lifeless body, she collapses. That sight changes Lee forever. Behind the scenes, Lumin uncovers something terrifying. Senior police officers are actively working to suppress the murder investigation. Unable to live with his conscience, Lumin secretly steals Henna's phone. With the help of a technician, he manages to power it on. What they find is chilling. The last incoming call is saved as "boss," and Henna's final message was sent to Isabella. But before they can dig further, Lumin is attacked. The phone is stolen back. Lee realizes the truth. From this point on, he can trust no one. Lee goes straight to the Janus Club. There, Isabella finally breaks. She tells him everything. Henna had been hired to sing at a private party held at Powell's farmhouse. That night, Powell tried to force himself on her. Henna escaped. Furious, Powell personally ordered her to be brought back. The club owner admits something horrifying. He later saw Henna's body near a gas station, and someone else was there, Percy. Then comes the most devastating truth of all. Percy is Powell's son. Henna was murdered by Powell himself to protect his image, to save his election. He killed Henna right in front of his own son. That trauma shattered Percy's mind. From that night on, he became a broken, dangerous man. Percy kidnaps Sumin. He locks her inside the farmhouse. When Lee arrives, the final confrontation begins. A brutal, desperate fight. In the end, Lee defeats Percy. At the same time, Powell is returning, celebrated as the newly elected governor. Lee blocks his convoy on the road, but this time, Lee is not alone. Earlier, Lumin leaked all the evidence to the media. The country explodes. Powell's crimes go viral. The truth can no longer be contained. Powell is arrested. Percy is arrested. Corrupt police officers are arrested. The entire network collapses. In the hospital, Sumin slowly recovers. Lee visits quietly. He places a small doll beside her bed and says nothing, because he understands now. This young girl showed more courage than an entire system of adults. She opened the path to justice for countless other victims. Lee leaves the hospital in silence, and in a city once ruled by fear, truth finally wins. Justice finally breathes. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you spending time here. If you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more every week. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next upload.